Yeah, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is there anybody on here from Illinois that got their estoppel done at the county recorders? Did they have success doing it? I was just curious to know that. 'Cause I'm from Illinois, and I haven't had it.
You tried to do it already?
Yeah.
What they do, they stop you or they give you a form?
Yeah, they gave me they gave me, well, no, they didn't give me a, well, let me see, they didn't give me a form. They gave me a procedure to follow in the code, a code procedure to follow. So I followed that, and I haven't heard anything from them. It's been at least 2.5 months.
So you corrected it with the procedures, and then you haven't heard anything?
Yeah.
Yes, someone who has background. People.
But I'm talking about the estoppel.
Yeah. Are we supposed to keep a copy of that estoppel on us, right, in case you get pulled over or something?
Well, you should keep a copy of everything that you see.
The estoppel is your protection. So that's, man, I'm trying to hurry up and get that done.
Area code 281 has some people talking in the background.
Yes, if you people with kids or whatever in the background, if you go into another room or something like that and shut yourself off from the noise, it would help, okay? It would help you stay on the line so that Tom doesn't mute you out, and then you can ask your questions. Okay?
Roger that.
Or else you mute yourself out when you're done talking, and then get into a quiet place, and then unmute yourself.
Right.
Because sometimes if Tom mutes you out, you won't be able to unmute yourself.
Right. It's better
okay.
to yourself with *6.
Sounds like somebody's got a TV on.
Yeah, well, I will have to mute it then. Okay. Very close.
Give him a second here. Okay.
Caller, turn down your radio.
Hello?
If you're listening, please quiet yourself in a room or something if you want to hear this message. Okay?
Seems to be quiet now.
Okay, now anybody that's got something to say, go ahead and start talking. I'll just sit here in the background and wait till you're done.
Okay, we were talking about pulling our bills together and sending them off with the 1099As. You mentioned the W8BEN. Should we be sending that in at any time?
Well, when do you think you should do it? I want you guys to start thinking a little here.
Well, since we're simply declaring our status, the sooner we declare our status, the better. So I would say send it in right now.
Yes, and you make up your own W8BN.
Right.
Okay? We are not under their system.
Yes.
Okay? All those tax forms that are out there are for the corporate person, for the corporations. They're not for we the people. We the people are creative. We can create our own shit. Only a baby needs somebody else to do it for them. You want to stay in baby land or Babylon? Then use their baby forms. Their baby wipes. Otherwise, you start standing up to them and showing them who the real boss is around here.
Patrick, you put up a 1099-V example on Thursday. I was out Thursday, so I didn't catch it, and you're not connected right now, so I can't download it.
Well, I think it was the one that I posted up there before.
Okay.
I had one for the for setting off a bill, and then one for doing a going down to Puerto Rico with the receipts. And see, I was using their form, but I'm going to modify that even more and make it my form.
Okay.
My 1099-A. And then we're sending these into Austin, Texas. And on the envelope, when you send them in Austin, Texas, it's going to be the domicile, a foreign domicile tax filing is what you put on the outside of the envelope. You are domiciled in America.
Oh, what was that you put on the envelope again?
Foreign domicile tax documents.
Okay, sorry.
Did you put without the United States after that?
What?
You put what you just said, and then could you add without?
No,
the
you
United
don't need
States?
to put that. You're saying documents, okay?
Word.
You can be submitting one in under the foreign grantor trust, one under the estate, whatever. So just leave it at documents. Tax documents.
No, but since you said it's foreign, right?
Foreign domiciled tax documents. And you are a foreign domiciled in the United States corporation. Now, we're going into the United States -SS Treasury. That is what is down in Puerto Rico. It's the USSS Treasury. Social Security Treasury. The Social Security is not for us. It was for their benefit, for the corporation's benefit. That's what it started out in the 1916 time frame when they brought in the Shipping Act. Go down to the pier and look at all the SS ships tied up to the pier. USSS ship. Well, basically, we are a USSS Treasury, and we have an account in that Treasury under our Social Security number. The corporations have borrowed the funds from that Social Security Treasury, and they owe the funds back to that Social Security SS Treasury. And we are one of the account holders, or we have an account hold there, and then we are the fiduciary over that SS account. Anybody got anything to say about this?
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense.
I got something to say about it, Patrick. That means you get control of it because of the estate you have created due to your decedent, right? Your estate EIN makes what you're saying what it is.
The estate is one of the accounts that will be borrowing from that SS account. But we, as the individual banker out here, under our individual banker EIN, he is going to be the fiduciary over that SS account. Also, he's a fiduciary over the estate, and he's a fiduciary over the foreign grantor trust account, but he's also the fiduciary over the SS account.
I understand.
Anybody have anything to say?
Are we sending our estoppels to the Vicar General? I guess we need to send them as many places as we can to see which one sticks.
Yes, but I would get the receipts going first, okay? Get that in, okay? You can get that other stuff done later, okay?
Yeah, I'm pulling together the receipts. I didn't realize what a mess my records were in. A question about that no pay box on the 1099A. Do I have it correct that we check it as paid when we do the 1099A for a set off, but we don't check it when we want the money back, when we want the credits?
The borrower is not liable for repayment.
Okay.
Read what it says. Are you going to be liable for paying this back when you borrow it? No.
No. But that's ours.
It's a trick item on the damn thing.
Ah.
Think about it. What are they trying to trick you into? Making you pay out of your back pocket.
Right.
They should try to see if you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
It is what it says it is.
How much is that postage to Puerto Rico? Anybody have?
I don't know, maybe a couple bucks or so. Well, it's going to be at least probably close to about $5 or something like that if you send it certified. We'll say, okay?
Yep.
I'm working on another form here at 1099V, Victor,
Right.
a voucher to put in along with this when we send it down there, thereby putting that in to that treasurer down there in Puerto Rico to make sure that they go to the corporation and get the funds from the corporation back into the Treasury.
Yeah, that's right. Putting the money back where it's supposed to be. And plus you cover your ass at the same time.
Yeah, we're giving them the receipts, so we're saying, okay, now here's the receipt. We got the item. We paid that company. Now that company owes that amount of money back to the Treasury.
Right.
Okay? But it's not going to hold us up from borrowing or from drawing out of our account.
Mhm.
I had some Excel files up there before about doing invoices for labor. You can submit one of those down there and draw funds out of your Social Security account.
Hmm.
But you need to do some receipts, get that in the process, set off some of these bills right here locally that you have, your water bill, your electric bill, your mortgages, whatever. I put the template up there for the bill set off. Endorsement on the front, or not endorsement on the front, but basically notation on the front and endorsement on the back.
That's the file called bill set off, doc.
Yes.
Got it.
And then you do a 1099-A for that, and the bank or the court or whoever, the water company, they are the lender. They're lending you the debt.
Got it.
But you gave them a letter of credit to begin with. So all you have to do on the bill is endorse it on the back for the value of that bill. Release the credits from your letter of credit. Well, it's not from your letter of credit. It's from the credits that they're holding that they've obtained from the bonds that they've been writing.
Patrick,
Yeah.
some while ago I did a 1099 OID on my W-2 form, and then I did the 1096 with a 1041 form, and I actually got credited for the amount of my 1099 OID, but because of the IRS's fancy bookwork, they took it all back. But my point is, I think what we may be missing in this process of getting our credits back to us, our funds, is the 1041 form. Years ago, I was listening to another, I don't know, guru, we'll call him, for lack of a better term, and he was saying that the 1040 and the 1041 forms are actually affidavits that we submit claiming our money back from them as a refund. Does that make sense?
We tried that, okay?
Okay.
The 1041s and 1040 forms are for the corporation babies.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Now, what do you think about them? Yes or no?
I think no,
Okay.
because if you have the control over it in the first place, then there will be no need to go further with the process in the first place.
Right. And see, where do you send the 1040 forms and 1041 forms? Out to Ogden, Utah. Court of Claims judge told one guy down in South Carolina, "You're still out at sea." Well, Ogden, Utah isn't out at sea. It's here on continental United States. What's out at sea? Puerto Rico.
Well, what if we sent the 1040 or 1041 form to Puerto Rico instead of Ogden? I mean, they say to send it to Ogden, but why do we have to do that?
Why do we have to do one period?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh, because we're giving them an invoice We're giving them a regular banking instrument, a Treasury instrument, a negotiable instrument when we send those receipts in and do the endorsement on the back of them. And we're doing a 1099-A along with it.
Right.
And then with this new form that I'm coming up with, this 1099-V, Victor, voucher, to have them go and make sure that the corporation that borrowed from the United States SS Treasury. See, all these corporations are bankrupt.
Yes.
They are the bankrupts.
Yes.
Not us. That's the fraud that they got perpetrated out here.
Where are the assets?
We can't be bankrupt.
Right.
Because we have the assets. We've got so much inheritance, and then we've got the full faith and credit of the de jure United States of America or America Treasury to go behind us. Just like the statute, volume 1 of the statutes at large. If you got into debt and the courts didn't set it off, then who did you go to? You went to the Secretary of the Treasury.
Right.
Now, all of these Roman bishops, okay, Roman Catholic bishops, are wearing two hats. They're wearing a bishop's hat as an officer of the Roman Empire, and then they're also wearing a hat of the Holy Roman Empire, the fraudulent empire, the church. Is the Pope coming over here as basically the head of the Roman Empire or the head of the Roman Catholic Empire?
Roman Empire.
He's coming over as the head of the Roman Empire. He wouldn't be going into Congress if he was coming in there as the head of the Roman Catholic Church.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the? I got my own idea of what I think you did, but with this Roman citizenship compared to anything else, I might be a Mexican or anything. I mean, I understand I understand the freedom, for lack of a better word, that it would give me being a Roman citizen in light of the times we're living in. I understand that completely, but how do you save? How do you get some kind of safe haven if like the Bible says the empire's supposed to fall? She's supposed to lose. So
because you're under the law. It's the law that is the controlling document out here. Okay? The word is the law. Okay? The word that was handed down to Adam. Okay? And the word that's been handed down throughout history to Noah, to Moses, and then Daniel, They stood by the law. When you stand by the real law, you're in the right system. But these codes of law, okay, even in the Babylonian time, in Daniel, you had the Babylonian laws. In Israel, okay, when the priest and everything took over, well, even during Moses' time, they tried to set up the false worship with the bull, the Jezebel system. Well, he kept them from it for 40 years, and then basically threw his hands up in the air and said, I can't do anymore. So they had the de jure temple of law to set off items, and then outside that temple they had the Jezebel temple, and you can read about this in the Bible. Now, a lot of people don't realize that there was a lot of people that were under Egyptian control. Not everybody that came out of Egypt went with Moses. Moses went to the east, or to the northeast, whatever you want to look at it. But there was another group that went to the west. That was the 13th tribe. Basically the ones that try and call themselves the Moors.
Yeah.
But they still have to be operating under the law that is in effect out here. The empire. The Babylonian Empire basically was the one that came into power to replace the Egyptian Empire. Now, what did Moses have? Moses had the law cast in stone. The Babylonian Empire, per the head of the statute that Daniel addressed to Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian Empire had the law cast in gold. The Medes-Persian that came after the Babylonian Empire had the law cast in silver. The Greeks had it cast in bronze or copper. The Roman Republic Empire had it cast in iron. And then when the religious sect came in and started masking over the Roman Empire, clay over iron, with their canons of law and everything, the Holy Roman Empire, overlaying the real Roman Empire, the real law, underneath. So when we stand by the real law, we are right. And the real law isn't all that complicated. It's basically the Ten Commandments, right and wrong. As basically Jesus said, love thyself and then love thy neighbor. 2 commandments. You adhere to those 2, and basically all the others fall into place. And then basically in the Roman Empire, okay, you had to be baptized, okay? You had your first baptism by blood, okay? And then your second baptism was by water. Now, these people that basically were out here wanting, like in Jupiter Ascending movie, they wanted to get, saying, well, you needed to have, not apostille, but you need to have this authenticated or whatever. You are authenticated, okay, as not a bastardly child when you get baptized. You're supposed to be addressing your father and mother on the baptismal certificate. And then you have, like in the Roman Catholic Church, they have two sponsors there or witnesses. That's your authentication that you are not a bastardly child. And that your parents were wed. See, only the state has control over a bastardly child. At least that's the way they think about it.
Mhm.
Now, in a lot of these other denominations, basically it's the whole parish is the witness. Some of them have the dunking tanks. I don't know. There's several different ways to go about a baptism.
Yeah, my mom got thrown in the dunk tank.
Yeah. Now, in the Roman Catholic Church, they also adhere to what was going on that Jesus did by going to the temple when he was 12 years old and getting anointed. It was called confirmation. And who gave the anointment in the Roman Catholic Church? Some of the other churches do too, Lutherans and a couple others that have bishops. It's the bishop. It's the Roman officer out there that is really operating under real law. And then I posted that item up there about the fish, okay, the ICHTHUS fish. Strongly recommend you get that and put that on your vehicle. Also, I would get a cross. Now, you can get these from carstickers, all one word, .com. You get the small one. You don't need the medium size. That's the one I got, and it's pretty good size. So I went back and I ordered 5 more small ones, both the cross and the fish. And then I even threw in and said, well, give me 6 Bibles, too. I'll stick this all over the damn place back there on the bumper. Say I'm an ambassador of the law. Now, the Declaration of Independence. We only heard about them going to England, France. We never heard about them going to Rome. But if you're going to be declaring independence, and basically you're under the Roman Empire, by God, you better have gone to Rome to ask for permission to have your independence. So they had to go to Rome. Because it was Rome that gave America its independence under treaty. See, it's different than France, different than England. They are not totally independent. But the Americas were made independent. And then South America followed suit right along with what North America here did. Because that Declaration of Independence that was signed was not just for the United States. It was for North America. And the North American capital is Philadelphia. That 10-mile square, Washington, D.C., is a government enclave that is separated from the nation. Think of it as a battleship sitting out in the Atlantic Ocean, protecting the nation from anything coming in. That's what it's supposed to do. It wasn't supposed to be sitting here running all over the nation, controlling everybody inside the nation. It was supposed to be an interface with the other nations out there. But people have gotten in there in this baby shit of asking the government to do every goddamn thing under the sun for them because the people can't handle it themselves. They could, but they don't know that they can.
Isn't the city Philadelphia named after the church Philadelphia, which is the last church before the coming?
Philadelphia is out there in quite a few different places. Philadelphia was even addressed in Egypt.
Okay.
So Philadelphia has always had a key place in history. But yes, it was addressed as the Church of Philadelphia in the Gospels of Paul or Epistles of Paul. And then it was also addressed, pretty sure, in either the Apocalypse or the Book of Revelation.
Right.
But see, the whore of Babylon is this United States SS corporation. That's what you've got to come out of. That is the Babylon, the Babylon system.
Do you refer to the SS as socialist states?
Social Security.
Refer to it as what?
I was wondering if you were saying the United States SS, is that the socialist states or what?
Social Security state.
Oh, Social Security state, okay.
Yeah, SS, Social Security. Yeah. Whose Social Security is it for? It's for the corporation's Social Security, not for the people's.
Right. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. It was for the security of the companies, the corporations that are bankrupt. It's their security that they have to borrow from us because they have nothing. They can't own anything. Only the living can ever own anything. As soon as you take your diapers off. So on your vehicle, you get one of those fish stickers. You get a cross, you get a Bible, stick those on there, and then put on there, Foreign Ambassador, Foreign American/Rome Ambassador, or Roman Ambassador. And then the next line, the number 3, in Christ. You have your 3 persons, your estate, your trust, and your banker persons. In Christ. Christ is the law that is cast in iron. That's what Christ stands for. You're a man of law. The real law. Now, you stand by Christ. I stand by the real law. Christ. The law that's cast in iron. And the law that is cast in iron is under the control of the Roman Empire. And basically, we are under the Roman Empire out here. The Roman Empire has conquered all nations. If there's a Christian church in any nation, that nation has been conquered. They just don't realize it in all cases. Any rebuttals? Comments?
Well, you read into the history, Patrick. I appreciate that.
So the Roman Empire controls China too then, because there's a lot of Christian churches there now.
It has controlled China for a long time. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
The church was in China before the English ever got there.
Right.
The Jesuits or the Franciscans or Dominicans were in there way before the English ever got there trying to trade the opium. See, in some cases, the church was used as a front organization for the Roman Empire to get a foot in the door. Sort of like the Trojan horse. A peace offering. Come in peace. Get inside the door. Then you can destroy from within. You can watch the movie Troy about the Trojan horse. It was given as a peace offering. And it was the demise of that empire.
I think that Walmarts are the Trojan horse today. Sam Walton used to design.
No, they're not. They're not. Okay? They're nothing more than basically Bank America, Chase Manhattan. Okay? They don't come in peace. They're out there trying to utilize you and basically rip you off and they're just like a card shark playing the game. And that's all Walmart is. They're a card shark playing the game. And you don't know how the game is played, and you're going to get taken.
It's rumored that those things are connected to tunnels. People have been in the tunnels. Everybody knows that they're there. There's foreign troops underneath them.
You just have to worry about knowing how to play the game. Okay? You don't worry about anybody else or anything else that's going on. You have to know how to play the game. That's what Daniel knew. He knew how to play the game, along with those three stooges. And the three stooges were not as dumb as what everybody thinks they were in the damn movies. They always came out smelling like roses. But you go in there with a chip on your shoulder and basically it's going to get knocked off, and maybe your head too, when they knock the chip off. That's the problem with most people. Most people out here are acting like, I don't know how many of you people ever remember the cartoon about Baby Huey, but that's the way the vast majority of the people out here, yeah, they're big, bully, and they can push everybody around and everything, but they're still wearing a damn diaper. They're still a baby. They just don't realize it. That's what was going on in Babylon in Daniel's time. The people were just so mesmerized with how beautiful Babylon was and everything that they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to find out the truth. They didn't want to know the law. So they basically stayed in a servitude scenario. That's the way a lot of these empires have operated. Why do you send your receipts in and claim those assets back? Because when you turn around and do the 1099-A, submitting and endorsing the receipts over, you're surrendering the receipt so that you cannot use it anymore to go and try and claim another payment back on the receipt. You bought the item. You're going to accept that you bought the item. You're going to give up the receipt and say, okay, that item is mine. Anything that happens to that now is my responsibility. here, I'm giving this receipt back so I can't cash it in with the company. Just like a warranty on your vehicle. I surrendered the warranties on my vehicle. 7 years worth of warranty on the thing. Said, basically, if it breaks down, if the wheel falls off, whatever, if the engine blows up, I'll take care of it. That's my property now. Yeah, I may be a little pissed that I bought a piece of shit or something like that, but basically that's the brakes. You operate under the 30-day contract law, the lemon scenario. Then anything after that, you have full ownership of it. Now the state, the company doesn't have any claim over it because you've taken them out of the picture. And that's what you're doing when you surrender that receipt. And you turn it into the treasurer. Now they know that you paid that much into that company. That company borrowed the money at the beginning of the year to go out and purchase that piece of equipment from the Treasury, so they owe at least that much back to the Treasury because of the bonds that were written to give them the money to buy the thing to begin with. You start doing this, and then basically you're going to take all these shareholders completely out of the picture. They're not going to get the dividends that they thought they were getting in buying a stake of that company. Yeah, they have a part ownership of the company, but basically they only get what profits the company has left over after they take out all operating expenses and everything.
No more double dipping.
No more taking our assets and then turning around and getting the corporate United States Treasury, okay, the Department of the Treasury and the Department of Justice, these fraudulent government agencies, to try and tax the living shit out of you and pay the taxes for the corporations. When you pay taxes, that's what you're doing. You're paying the taxes that the corporations have to pay back to the Treasury. That is the double dipping. And the United States company, corporation, all these departments of, they are one of the biggest debtor corporations out here. Everybody's DD-214 is down in Puerto Rico. All your assets, your military bounty, is held there in that SS. USSS Treasury in Puerto Rico. The Secretary of the Treasury in Puerto Rico is the bankruptcy trustee in the process. We are a bankrupt creditor. The companies are the bankrupts. This is the bankruptcy court we should have been going to all along. Not to the corporate one that's here on mainland. We have to go to the one that's operating under the real law. And that's what we're doing. When we're coming in as a creditor to obtain our credits. are receipts that are being held in our dead man's chest, our MORTMAIN account. They're in the SS Treasury. The 1099A, the two that I posted up there, you've got an example to go either way, okay? Now, if you go to Philadelphia, you're going to have to take the one basically for going to Puerto Rico. You're going to have to modify that around and put down the Treasury Department out of Philadelphia, the Treasury Department, not the Department of the Treasury. Care of that Federal Reserve Bank there in Philadelphia. The Treasury Department is located within that area there at whatever, 10 Independence, whatever it is.
Independence Square?
And then basically you just do an endorsement like you would do on your bill or on your bill when you send it back. You would do an endorsement for the releasing of the credit, so it'd be a negative value on the back of your certificate of live birth, which is really your birth certificate as a American banknote, or whatever note is called out on that certificate you get. That's on note paper. It is a banknote. Whether it's an American banknote or some other banknote that's authorized by the post office, and see all these banknotes have to be authorized by the post office. Not the postal system, but the post office. The post office is the one that prints up all paper items, stamps, notes, checks, whatever. They're the ones that control that engraving. The Treasury Department with the mint controls the coinage, the minting of the hard assets. So basically the only form that you're really missing, and you should be able to do this on your own, thinking these things through, is this 1099V form that I will post up there, that you would send down to Puerto Rico. Then that's the only place you would send this, is into Puerto Rico to the Treasury Department down there. So that they could come back and make sure that that corporation that's listed on those receipts has indeed reimbursed the Treasury for that amount of money. And then all your other forms, your 1096s, and you could modify that 1096 form as a foreign domiciled tax document. Read the instructions in the taxing system, and we can make up our own tax forms.
Right.
Just like you can make up the 1099 or the W-8BEN form. And any other forms that basically you want to modify, you take that statement off about under penalty of perjury. That's only needed for the fictional area. And see, we won't be going into those courts that use that anyway. I would stay away from the 1099 OIDs, just like the one guy said. They turned around and came back and took the money back, or the credits back. He thought he had them, but then all of a sudden he didn't have them. Well, that's like when we went and did some of those items, $5,000 items, trying to use our Social Security card with 9 digits. And submitting those in through the Federal Reserve Bank or into our local bank. Yeah, they seem to work. The bank says that the money is there, but then about 10 days later, holy shit, the Federal Reserve came back and pulled it out.
Yep.
So stay with what we know has to be right. And this has to be it, because there had to be a place for these corporations to borrow the money. And it had to be the United States SS Treasury. And where was the U.S. or the SS Maine sunk?
Cuba.
In the Caribbean.
Right.
Who has always been over the Caribbean, even in the Pirates of the Caribbean. The Empire.
Right.
Even though it said English Empire, who is the English Empire responsible to? The Roman Empire.
Has anyone seen a consistent time?
You got to speak up a little.
Has anyone seen a consistent time frame of turning in the 1099As and then getting the Treasury check or the deposit? Is there anything kind of consistent?
No, because I don't think anybody's got theirs down there yet. Okay?
Okay.
I heard that it was faster.
Huh?
I heard it was faster. The Puerto Rico, it gets fast results. That the other Treasury takes like 17 days, I think.
Right. And basically, I'm also trying to take that other form that we had, that 83, whatever it was, direct deposit. Take the information off of that and put that onto one of the forms and have that directly deposited into either our commercial account or our Direct Express debit card or our Treasury Direct card. This is a banking transaction. It should take 3 days after they receive it.
Patrick, the postal receipts down to Richmond don't seem to be working. Would it make sense to send them to Puerto Rico?
Okay, with the postal receipts you sent to there, then you're going to have to turn around and take the 1099-A, and you're going to have to put that into the 1041 and get the funds back that way.
Okay. We'll need a 1041 for that. Okay.
So you're dealing with a Federal Reserve Bank in that case, okay?
Good, thank you.
So you basically you're notifying the Federal Reserve Bank that is holding that government account there, and you're putting the claim in against it. But I would turn around and take all those postal receipts and send those down to Puerto Rico, get the funds from your account right now, and then let the Treasury go and get the funds, saying you paid for those out of your back pocket. Now that Postal Service has to make sure that the payment gets back to the Treasury.
Right.
Well, it's not our job to do that. We've now notified them that we have made the payment. Now it's their obligation to go and get the payment from that corporation, the Postal Corporation.
Right, and the 1041 helps facilitate that.
No, you didn't do the 1041 if you send all your postal receipts to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But if you send them to Richmond, yes, you're going to have to do it the other way and go to Ogden or wherever.
Okay. Got it.
There's got to be one or two of you guys that can think about some of this stuff out here and put comments in. Because I'm getting tired of trying to tell everybody the way I see it. And I'm sure that some of you guys have to see it the same way I'm seeing it, if you've been following me long enough. This isn't rocket science. This is common sense.
Yeah, it's common sense when you become familiar and you start thinking about it, and even the Bible is showing us the same thing. What you're saying is just that they have it in different type of wording and a different story that it still matches up. It's like it's transparent. It's an overlay. One story's overlaying the other. It has to be three-dimensional or whatever. It has to be real.
Yeah, but see, I'm saying the same thing over and over here. Mm-hmm. And some of you guys should have soaked that in by now and started thinking about this. Hey, he's saying the same thing he said last week. Mm-hmm. I agree with what he said last week. I thought about it, and I agree with it. I checked it out. It's right. He's on the money.
Yeah, I think it's really bizarre that they even have a treasury down there in Puerto Rico. Why else, like you say, why else would it be there? It's foreign.
It's got to be there, okay? Because the country is bankrupt. Do you think that the trustee's going to be sitting here, sitting right next to the guy that's bankrupt?
Right.
No. Doesn't make any sense in the world. That would be conflict of interest. Of course, the government would like to try and do that because they're a total conflict of interest all over the damn place. They couldn't follow the law if their life depended upon it.
We never hear of any liberation stories. I mean, Puerto Rico sounds like it was a territory of Spain at one time, but we never really learned how it came into possession of the United States. It became a territory.
They're not in possession of the United States.
No, but it was a territory. It's still a territory.
It's a territory because of the Spanish-American War. Okay?
Yeah.
We ran Spain out. But we could not claim it into the system because it was still under the control. Even though Spain controlled it, they were controlling it for Rome, for the Roman Empire. Who did Queen Isabella kiss ass to? Rome.
Right.
Who does the Queen of England kiss ass? Who does the President of the United States kiss ass to? The Emperor of Rome. Because we're under the Roman Empire. Not the Roman Catholic Church, but the Roman Empire. The real law. The Jezebel law system is the Jezebel temple that was sitting outside the main temple back in Moses and Jeremiah's time. And then down through the Bible, even in Jesus and everything, it was all about the law. The prophets were all speaking the law. And then we've had a lot of the information out here in the movies pointing all this stuff out. Now, one guy, about 80-some years old, basically, a woman had bought up, I don't know whether it was one or two, tax items on his house for about $7,000 or whatever. And he had to go into court Friday. Well, he went into court, and I'm not sure exactly which ones he used, whether it was that confession and avoidance, whether it was the Baby Act, but it was part of those items that I told him to use in the process. And the judge threw her case out in favor of the guy. The woman was all pissed off, said, well, I'm not going to stop here because, see, she wanted that property. She paid $7,000 for it, and she was going to try and sell it for around $100,000 and some thousand. It was really valued probably over a couple $100,000. No mortgage. and it was just tax. Well, the judge knew damn well, basically, that he wasn't going to want to get involved in, basically, if anybody says anything about this tax and avoidance, he's not going to get caught up in that fiasco, and then also about going to an Article 3 court. And when you stand by the law and by the Bible, and that you are an ambassador in Christ, throw all that in there, they ain't going to want to touch you. Because you just put a halo around yourself, an aura that they can't penetrate. Because if they do penetrate, they're going to go down. They're going to be the one cast into the furnace. Now, you may end up with a really stupid judge, and there have been a few that have been very stupid in the process. And but they ended up getting found out later on. Basically, they really ended up paying the consequences.
Good case.
And then basically, I don't know whether Bill's on the line or not.
Not
Bill and Lawrence. But Lawrence is the one that basically did the 1099-A with his water company for $1,700. And on his water bill, when he did that, he put an extra $1,000 of credit, negative credit on there. So now he has a negative $1,000 of credit sitting there. So basically, as the bills come due, all they have to do is set it off against that $1,000 there that's sitting there. The positive cancels out the negative, so much value. So if it's a $150 bill this month, then it subtracts $150 off that negative $1,000. So he's got $850 negative dollars, credit dollars sitting there. Now,
and he did that prior to submitting the Federal Reserve package?
Huh?
He submitted the 1099 for that bill set off prior to submitting the Federal Reserve package?
No, he didn't submit anything to the Federal Reserve, okay?
Wow,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so he just sent that straight in without sending anything to Puerto Rico, just the 1099 set
Right,
off.
he did the bill set off. And see, you can take your bills right now, and I told you this for the last 2 or 3 calls, and I put the template up there, and you send the 1099-A's, but we were sending them into either Kansas City or Ogden, but now we understand that when we do the 1099-A's, we're sitting here as a foreign domestic or domiciled tax person. Our private banker is a foreign domiciled tax person. He's one of our 3 in Christ. He's the Godhead. He's the chief financial officer of our 3.
Now, also, Patrick, as it relates to the confession and avoidance, you can use that during any process. During any stage of a foreclosure situation. Did I understand you correct on that?
Yes. Because the bank is, you got to read that definition, okay?
Okay.
They have to be hands clean. Okay? It doesn't say that in there, but basically that's what it's really referring to.
Gotcha.
The hands clean doctrine, or clean hands doctrine. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They've got to show that they were not negligent in any other process of trying to get that bill settled, that mortgage settled.
Beautiful.
And see, they have been negligent. They have never given you the full understanding of how to set that bill off. Even though all the credits are sitting there after 3 years for that mortgage. They have been more than compensated. And then they're trying to rip you off.
Beautiful.
They don't have to be a Jewish bloodline to be a Jew. In fact, there's more Jews out there that are not really of the Hebrew line. They're basically under the Egyptian Pharaonic line, the banker's line,
right?
The devil. They have no love for their fellow mankind. They're the ones that go into the church and head right up to the front pew and say, "Look how good I've been all this week. Give me everything. I'm not like that poor beggar sitting in the back row there. He hasn't done anything. But yet he's done more than that other person has done." And he's coming in as an honest man just by coming into that church in that capacity. I could ramble on all night long. You guys could probably listen to this all night long. But do you understand it? That's what I don't know when I get done talking, whether anybody really understands it. You say, "Boy, thank you, and all this." But I never hear anything out of you, most of you, giving any comments, feedback of showing me that you have understood anything that I said.
Well, I think I understand, Patrick. I need to work on it more and more, but I'm getting right down to this.
And you need to get away from half the other garbage that you keep getting tied up with.
Well, I had some personal garbage that stuff.
Yeah, and basically that's what I'm saying. You've got to get, if you've got these others, you've got to get them involved into getting them to understand what's going on here.
Yes, I am talking to some people on that, but I still need to do mine first. I understand that.
Now, the other one that I was getting to last week was basically that Lawrence also was able to settle his boy's loan on his car.
Huh.
He faded out. What? Could you repeat that, please?
He said that Lawrence was able to settle the loan on his boy's car. Now, what they did with their utility bill is that on the current directory on August 1st.
Okay.
And he did basically the same thing. He did a 1099-A, and then he took his boy's payout value and basically endorsed the back of it for the set-off of that amount of money.
Okay.
And what did he have to have on file anywhere? He didn't have to have the birth certificate, the baptismal certificate, and everything on file with the Treasury Department prior to doing that?
No. He just did this, okay?
Beautiful.
Look at the examples.
Okay.
The only time you need to, when you're going to the Treasury, you have to come in and have some of your documents on file with them at the Treasury, showing them that you are a Roman citizen, American Roman citizen, like going into Puerto Rico, okay, or going into Philadelphia, that you are the one that has that you placed your estoppel by deed claim in. You're doing your affidavit and estoppel by deed.
So we should send that in with our first submission?
With whatever you think you should do, okay?
Well, I agree.
You're never going to get anything done. Do something, okay? Take the receipt. Take the 1099-A. Take the receipts. Do those. Send them in.
Okay.
See what happens. Work on the next package. You can always add more shit to the next package.
Okay. I've got my estoppel
But
complete.
if you're waiting there to try and get everything done all in one big lump sum, you're never going to get shit done.
Okay.
No, I can appreciate that, man. I just came across your process, and I just wanted some clarity. I heard a few calls back, about maybe 4 or 5, and then some of the documents. Just wanted to be clear as to what and how this thing works. But I think I pretty much got it. I'll go and look at that August 1st.
Yeah, use the 1099-As that I put up there, the 3-parter. Okay, don't get the ones from the IRS. Okay. If they want to charge us $50, we'll pay it. We know where the money's at now.
Right.
Okay? You send the C copy to the lender. You keep the B copy. The A copy, the one in red, you'll be sending down to Austin, Texas from now on to the Foreign Domestic Tax Office. Okay? But you don't need to do it right away. You can wait 6 months or whatever.
Oh.
60 days, whatever. And then send a bunch of them in.
Now, this is different for pulling down credits. Is that right, Patrick?
We are pulling our assets out of our treasure chest, our MORTMAIN account that is down there in Puerto Rico, just like in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Got it. Now I'm gonna file mine on Wednesday. By Wednesday's call, I'll have mine filed. I'll give you any feedback I get from them. You'll know about it. I'll share it. I don't have a problem with it. Pretty simple. I just wanted to be clear on those few things.
Yeah. Okay.
Has anybody else had any problems getting their estoppels recorded? I'm just asking that question just to know if there's anybody out there that's been having I'm still having problems with my recording. So, like I asked at the beginning of the call, I'm in Illinois, and has anyone had success in Chicago? If you have, I would please like to get some input or output on what you did, because I'm still waiting on mine to get done. This is my second time sending my stuff in. So, and of course I have a backup. I'm just curious to know what others have what other people have had success in sending that to Chicago or not. That's all.
Yeah, we're not going to get too much out of the Federal Reserve banks, okay? So we might as well just back off of them, okay? Let's get this shit down to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
He's talking about his ID. He's filing it where he lives.
Yes, I was talking about where I live at, yeah.
Hey, but I think, Tom, didn't you say that, like, Arizona could file anything, even a ham sandwich?
Yeah, that's what they said. Maricopa County says a double cheeseburger, and Pinal County says a ham sandwich.
I remember that.
Really, you got to realize that basically these documents are private.
Yes.
Okay? What are you dealing with? You're dealing with the public out there in most cases. You give them notification. I've got my original here. It's under the seal of iron. Okay? That embosser, one side of the embosser is metal. Okay? So it's under iron. Someone's got a lot of static in the background there.
That's 281 again. I'll mute it.
So are you saying that we can seal these ourselves with our embossers? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yeah, you're going to put your embosser on it anyway.
No doubt, yeah.
Okay, but you don't. Basically, it's now a private document. It's your private file. You send them a copy of it when you send it to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You can say that this is an official copy of the one on file in my private records, in your cover letter. It's my affidavit. It's not the public corporation, United States or state of, out here. It's not their document. It's mine. It's my affidavit.
And we don't need.
Right,
you don't need a confirmation back from them, right? Once you send it, it's theirs. Give them notice.
When you send it out certified mail, you have confirmation of delivery.
Once it hits the mailbox.
Once it leaves your
Well,
hand.
in some cases, yes, but then you've got to put 10 days in there. But it may only take 2 days to get there if you've got your certified mailing, and you can get that off the website of when it was actually delivered. Exactly. And then if you put the green card on there, you can actually get the date that it was signed and get the green card back. It's all how you want to go about it, to have your confirmation that they got it.
Telegram.
You can even do it direct or overnight express or next day express, whatever. Express mail.
I was at FedEx, and I was like, no, I need to do USPS, right?
I would do with the post office.
You mean the Postal Service?
Yes. The mail must go through. FedEx, I don't think, operates that way, but basically they try to.
Yeah, they go anywhere, and they're 7 days, I think.
Yeah, but the post office, their motto is, we will deliver. Okay? Anybody else?
I have a question. There's a form called F5444E, and it's called Treasury Direct Account Authorization. Is that something that helps you get your Treasury Direct account?
Yeah, it's for your bank, whatever.
I don't know. You'll have to talk to that on the group, okay?
Okay.
I got a Direct Express because I'm Social Security eligible. So basically, if you're Social Security eligible, you get the Direct Express card instead of a Treasury Direct card. And see, all the funds, even in the Social Security, are coming from basically out of your Social Security Treasury account down there in Puerto Rico.
Should we write the cover letter in Spanish?
If you want to. Okay, I'm going to drop off here. You guys can continue talking.
Arrivederci.
Okay, good night.
All right.
Right.
That's it over now, 10-4.